Alright guys, so now that our monsters are a little bit smarter, another cool feature that I want to teach you guys how to do is how to add health to your monsters. So right now, whenever we play the game, we can just go ahead and shoot each monster and they explode the very first time you shoot them. Well, what I want to do is I want to show you guys how to make it so that you have to shoot a monster 5 times before it dies. So let me go ahead and do that. Let me adjust myself in my seat. Alright. So go ahead and click on one of the monsters, or you can actually click it in your objects panel. And what we want to do is after it's clicked, we want to add a variable to it. Now, a variable is just something, I don't want to say a property because these are all properties, but it's something that you can change about the monster, and you can also make some cool behaviors, or excuse me, events happen when the variable gets to a certain point. Kind of confusing for me to talk about, so I'll just show you guys. So in this instance variable, we want to go ahead and next to add and edit, we're going to add a new instance variable. So just click this. And remember, this is an instance variable. So whenever I change it for this monster, it's actually going to apply this to all the instances, in other words, all of the monsters. So that's another reason why I said it's cool to just hold control on your keyboard and drag, because then you can do cool stuff like this, and once we give this monster health, it's going to give every monster health. Pretty sweet, huh? So now we need to add a new one by just clicking this little plus sign, and for the name of this, I'm just going to name it health, and we can just set it at some number right now, and the initial value is going to be 5. And basically what's going to happen is once okay, take a deep breath, Bucky, and do this. As soon as the game starts, every monster is going to have a health of 5. Every time we shoot them, it's going to decrease by 1. So 4, 3, 2, 1, and once it gets to 0, then the monster is going to be destroyed, aka they're going to die. So again, that's why the initial value is at 5. Hit OK, close out of this, and now, as you can see, no matter where you click any of these monsters, they all have the variable of health 5 to start out. So now what we need to do is we actually need to tell it in our event sheets that right now it says bullet on collision with monster, monster destroy. Well, we actually need to change that to say no, don't destroy them, just take 1 health away, and we need to add some more logic. So wherever it said monster, monster destroy, what we can do is we can actually right click this destroy right here, and we can press replace action right there. So what we want to do instead of destroy is we want to just subtract 1 from the instance variable. So monster, this is going to be our new action instead of destroy. So monster, and there's actually one called subtract. Subtract from instance variables. Probably should know I was under that category. So hit next, and this is all good to go, it looks like. So what instance variable do you want? Well, we only have one, so not many options there. And the value is basically saying how many do you want to subtract? Well, 1 looks good, so we can just go ahead and hit done. So basically, what we did, if we think about it, is now whenever the bullet hits the monster, it's going to subtract 1 from the health, and it's going to make a little explosion, and the bullet's going to be destroyed. But we don't have a way to actually kill the monster yet. We just subtract 1 from health, but it doesn't know when it gets to 0 health to kill the monster. We know that, but we need to tell our game that right now. So this is how we do that. We actually need to add a whole new event, and for the condition, what the condition is monster compare instance variable right here. So click next, and it's going to say, okay, what variable do you want me to keep an eye on? Well, keep an eye on the health, and when it is less than or equal to 0, then just go ahead and press done. So whenever the monster's health is less than or equal to 0, what do you want to happen? Well, for the action, we want a couple things to happen. First and foremost is, of course, we want a sweet explosion. So for the monster, wherever the monster was, we want to spawn, where you at, spawn another object. And what object do you want to create? Well, what we want to do is we want to create an explosion, and we want to put it on freaking cursor layer 1, and of course image point. Right now this is perfect, so whenever we shoot the monster from the center of them, there's going to be an explosion. You know, obviously our monsters are made out of some kind of gas or some kind of explosives. Looks good, so just hit done right there. Now an explosion occurs wherever the monster is, but the monster's still going to be there unless we destroy it, aka kill it. So we need to add another action as well, which is monster destroy. So basically what we did is we added an instance variable, and then we said whenever the bullet hits the monster, subtract 1 from its health, and also keep an eye on the monster's health, and whenever it gets to 0 or below 0, what we want to do is we want to make an explosion and destroy the monster object. And the reason that I don't have it is just make sure it equals 0 is because you always want to do this whenever you're killing monsters, because later on, if I don't know, maybe it'll just miss a tick, maybe you're playing with someone else and you shoot it at the same time, or maybe you have a gun that takes away like 10 health at a time. So then once you shoot a monster that has 5 health, it's going to be -5 and the monster is going to live. So always make sure that you check if it's less than 0 as well. So anyways, if you go ahead and shoot a monster now, it doesn't get destroyed until you shoot it 5 times, and then it explodes. Having too much fun playing this game here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm gonna keep playing this game, and yeah, it's getting pretty awesome. But there are still a lot of improvements that we can make. So thank you guys for watching, and well, I'll see you next time.